It has been a great week last week for all things gaming news, but especially for Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. We got lots of information, we got lots of gameplay, and I'm more excited than ever. But out of some of that information that we got, a few people are not happy when it comes to its content and what is being added and what is being taken away. So in today's video, we're going to be going all over that. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you like the content you are seeing, please support the channel and hit that like button. And if you want to stick around for some more Dragon Quest content, you're already in the right place. Just hit that subscribe button. Now, before we dive into the content, we got a lot of information. We even got new gameplay, and just looking at it, I am even more sold than I was before. I was a fan of the art styles. I love the 3D doll look. I love the dioramas, but seeing it in action and how smooth it ran, whether they were going through towns, dungeons, or even going into battle, and the world map, I think we can all agree that this looks fantastic, and I can't wait to experience everything that Dragon Quest VII Reimagined has to offer. Keyword, reimagined. This is not a remake as per se, this is a reimagining of a story. A great way for Square Enix to cater to both old and new fans with this entry, because it always has been one of those entries that when someone brought it up, especially before this was announced, that hey, this is quite a beefy game, there's a lot of fluff in this game. I do wish that they cut some of this content out. Even when it came to the 3DS version, it's like, hey, they did streamline it a little bit, but there's still quite a lot of fluff in there. This is a long Dragon Quest game, and we are now here to the point where we have Dragon Quest VII Reimagining, a new version of Dragon Quest VII, of which they seem to have streamlined a lot of stuff, and there is, again, conflicting opinions on what is actually happening here. So let's dive into that right now. So 3 of the game's scenarios have been removed from the game, and they are El Ciclo, Grondal, and Providence. Now El Ciclo we'll get into in just a second and what that offers, but Grondal offered a story where the sacred sapling of Yggdrasil grows and is guarded by a tree fairy, and essentially a monster disguised as a stranger poisoned the water in the well, then leading to everyone in this place of Grondel to believe that they are the Demon King. And Providence is a small story based around the goddess statue. Now, looking at these particular scenarios, it doesn't look like it's taking too much away, but I'm very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions on these locations in general. But that is not just only what is being cut from here. We mentioned El Ciclo just a moment ago, but what this brings to the table is the excellent grading organization, which is essentially like a little mini game of sorts. The way that this grading organization works is that it focuses on a certain statistic, whether it's strength, wisdom, style, and you'll get various rewards when winning. Also, they got rid of Immigrant Town, also known as the Haven. This is something that's frequent in Dragon Quest games. It's the towns where you get to build them up ever so slightly with its population, and as time goes on, things change. Probably a massive distraction and something that I might have really enjoyed doing, but again, doesn't look like it was very significant to the plot. Also, we have the absence and the cutting of the monster meadows, which seems to be in relation to the monster-related vocation, which has indeed been changed for Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which makes sense for them to cut any gameplay content that's related to it, because we now know that we have the abilities as opposed to getting the monsters and getting the vocations on top of those. So that all makes sense to me, and again, looking at what this has to offer gameplay-wise, it just doesn't look like too big of a change. Though that is my personal opinion, and I welcome everybody else's opinion in the comment section down below. Last but not least, another thing that has been cut is the casino. Now, to me, this makes sense in this day and age, the way that games are rated. They could have kept the casino in, but I believe if they would have done this, it would have really cranked up the age rating just because of how rating boards have changed, especially in Europe. And they want to have a game that's probably accessible to everyone to play, which is what they have been going for the past few Dragon Quest games since Dragon Quest XI. To be fair, when it comes to casinos, they're more of a distraction than a necessity to me. I'm currently playing through Dragon Quest XI-S, just reached the second casino, the Monster Casino, and I've looked at the reward, and I really don't want to be spending too much time in there, and if that wasn't in the game, I don't think I would be too fussed at all. Again, my opinions, I'm welcoming yours for a bit of a discussion here. So there are all the things that we know so far that have been cut. We don't know if there's going to be any more. We also are in a situation where we're not really sure on how this is being tackled because there are conflicting reports on, hey, the cut content is going to be optional content to a certain degree. And this is why we're waiting on official word from the Western side. I assume that we will probably get this news within the coming weeks now that TGS has come and gone. Both Yuji Horii and the producer of Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, Takeshi Ichikawa, both told us about things that they are adding to the game. We have an arena. This is my kind of content. To be fair, I prefer an arena over a casino any day of the week, anything to test my combat abilities. And this is an arena that has formidable enemies with luxurious prizes. And also, as we've seen from DLC, we can fight past final bosses from other Dragon Quest games, which is really nice, and a chance to get the Erdrick sword from what I've seen. So I am all in for an arena. I love just diving in and getting as far as I can. Also, and again, something that's lost in the air of, is it official translation? Is it not official translation? Is additional scenarios, which have been dubbed the Childhood of Hero and Maribel scenarios. We don't know what this consists of, but it seems to be more lore on the main characters. Again, something that I welcome with open arms to tell the story of our party and their past and what relation that may be to the overall story. Bring it on. It seems like they have put a lot of thought and effort into this game. Me personally, when it comes to all these things, it doesn't seem like that big of a difference. It seems like they're giving us the best experience. I hate to bring it up, but it is a reimagined project of Dragon Quest VII. We still have the PS1 version. We still have the 3DS version if you want to play those versions and experience its original content. But I'm excited what they have to offer, how much effort they're putting in, and everything that they are going to be bringing to the table. There also is a bit of a debate on what's going off with the vocations when it comes to costumes. A lot of people are saying because these dolls have been 3D scanned and been put into the game that way, that maybe they didn't want to go through the extra effort of doing each of these costumes, though we know that one of the pre-order bonuses, or one of the bonuses for either getting the deluxe edition or something like that, we get the Dragon Quest XI costumes. Now, I would assume that these weren't scanned in, but they took the base models of the main characters and then just made the costumes for the Dragon Quest XI stuff digitally, which gives me a glimmer of a hope that maybe, just maybe, we will have vocational costumes. But at the same time, looking at the gameplay that we've seen and the screenshots, there's no visuals of any vocational costumes, so I would assume that they have been cut out. To me, doesn't matter, they're just cosmetic things, and I'm not too fussed, though I can see the disdain and maybe the disappointment that it's been taken out also. So a lot of news to actually come out here of TGS 2025 when it comes to Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. There's a lot of good stuff being added in I'm very much looking forward to, and there's some content that has been taken out which seems to be causing a little bit of a fuss here or there with players that have played the original. So I'm, again, opening the floor to you guys. What do you think of this? What would you rather the approach be? Because before this game was announced, a lot of people were telling me, man, Dragon Quest VII, they need to cut a lot of stuff out of that game. They need to have a look at it if they are going to be remaking it, because it is a long game. And now that we're at the time where they're reimagining the project and they've done some of that stuff, a lot of people are now changing their tune. So I'm just wondering where everyone's at. I'm excited nonetheless. We're going to have coverage here on the channel as always, leading up to its release on February the 5th, 2026. I'm hoping that you can rock on with me on this ride. Until then, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.